So I called on Cal Humbert and Fred Ferguson, and they put me in touch with Mr. Coach Ed Dodd, and he has some words to say about Jesse in their behalf. I think Ms. Bennett had a little bit to do with it too.
Oh, yes. When I see this, it's really depressing to me. It's just these kids that I knew, and they've grown up, and those of us that are still here, it's wonderful. It reaches down here and gets you to see that. These fellows put this thing together. How many of you knew Jesse? Oh, that's good. Most of you. That'd be a little bit of input we can get, maybe. Anyhow, I received this, and I'm going to throw some things in here as we go along. First, Jesse was born in Elizabeth City in the year 1930, and he was an only child. And if you knew Jesse, you could probably understand that. His parents owned and opened a farm machinery and seed store in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Well, if you knew Jesse, you know he was as far from a seed store as anybody could be. In the summer that we opened the school, and I say we because Scott and Jesse was one of the early guys here, and the three of us came down on the bus together. Whenever we got there that summer, Jesse was just finishing up his master's degree at ECU, and he came to CMA as an English teacher and the headmaster, and he was very proper, very proper. Good. When you talk with him, you realize he had all the knowledge and experience needed for CMA's academic leader. And I probably would agree with that. Jesse was at CMA for 2 years, and he went to our sister school, Bardell Hall, as an English teacher and the headmaster. Of course, that was over at Red Springs, and anybody who was there knew where Red Springs was, probably, I suppose. He was at Bardell Hall for 2 years, and then he went on to a second sister school, Highland School for Girls in Avon Park, Florida. Jesse stayed at Highland for 6 years, leaving there the year the school closed. When Jess left Highland, he returned to Elizabeth City and taught at the College of Albemarle the rest of his career. And he and I were sort of colleagues in the community college system. Jess was a member of is a member of the Lutheran Church, and while at CMA, Jess and Fred Ferguson would take the cadets who were Lutheran to Lumberton to church. As you may remember, we took all the cadets to whatever church affiliation they belonged. Jesse always had a physical and personal appearance of a very professional person, to include his well-groomed mustache. He kept it well-groomed. Jesse was very proud of the fact that he could pronounce the Old English with the true accent and could roll his R's like a true Frenchman. One day at the end of the class, Jesse was walking down the hall to his office when he heard someone who he thought was a student who had just been in his class use a sentence with improper grammar. Jesse shouted back to the person, "I just covered that in class," only to find out that when he turned around, it was a visiting parent who used the wrong grammar. The parent said to Jesse, "Well, I guess that's what we sent him here for." Jess was very much into classical music, particularly the organ. When Jess was at Highland School in Florida, he built an organ of which he kept for several years until he decided to sell it. He had and still has a large library of records and professional organ recordings. Jesse has belonged to the American Guild of Organists for many years, and I didn't know that about him until I read this. But I can imagine that he would do something of that nature. I'm sure most of you remember the story of Jesse going into his office one morning to find all the contents in the office had been removed by Cal and Fred, the night before and stored in the business office safe. Well, of course, he didn't know where they were. And I don't know if any of you remember, but one year early, first or second year, I guess, Jesse was the registrar, not a registrar, but he was registering students, and they had to go through his office. Every one of them had to go through his office to check off their classes and everything. And he had it screwed up. He didn't know what he was doing. Every student that came through there, he said, come back in 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes, he had everybody in school lined up at the door and started over. And we had quite a laugh at Jess about that, but he got straightened out and it worked every day. Well, this one, I don't know. The story of Jess receiving a Christmas present from Fred, which was a toilet seat, was a printed picture of a horse's ass on it. I can imagine that. Jess was a mentor to our young teachers and a source of support for all the teachers, and I will vouch for that. He was. He was good to students, and he was good to people who worked around him. He made CMA's academic program a success, as shown by the later success of CMA students. It was just what was needed at that time. And I think we can look around and look at the students that we have and the success that they've had, and I think we couldn't help but agree with that, the school and Jess, and those of us who worked together with you guys, and it was a privilege for us to be able to do that, and I think the success is in the pudding out here. On a personal note, Jess was a friend. He had been a personal friend for all these years, even though he was only at CMA for 2 years. Jess always had words of encouragement for the students and words of help for the faculty. He was a bright part of CMA and was what CMA was all about, and he was a true friend of all. And I couldn't put that any better. He was just a good person, fun to be around, and very serious at times, and not so serious at other times. But anybody like to mention anything that they recall that maybe Jess did or said, or anyhow, he was a good person, and these are just some of the things that we thought up and thought about memories of things that went on. And boy, we could do this with a lot of the faculty there. Probably not quite so nice as this. But, anyhow, that's all I have.
Are you guys sure you don't want to say anything? Because I've got some notes here that came off the website where you nominated Jesse. Would you rather me read them?
Yeah, go ahead. I like to hear it.
You want some, just kind of, Randy, want funny stuff or what?
Get the funny stuff.
Well, I think that, just one of the things about this school that stood out in my mind, and I was only there the first year, was the fact that now, just like he said about Jesse only being there 2 years, most of the people that attend these reunions have only been there for 2 years. We do have, some more, but for the majority of it was the first year and second year students that grace us with their presence at the reunions. I won't read the names, I'll just read the remarks that were made.
That's good.
His continuous dedication to the education of our nation's youth after he left CMA and making a major impression on the cadets in Maxton, he moved on to the College of Albemarle in Elizabeth City and continued his teaching for about 32 years until retiring in 1996. No telling how many students have been influenced by his teaching skills. This man has given his all to old CMA, enjoyed his class at CMA. Here's someone will remember this. Jess was a trip. He could keep you laughing, and most of the time he wasn't even aware of it. A great man to have as a friend. Jesse was the academic leader for students and faculty. He developed an academic curriculum and planned staff development for the faculty, and he was also a very effective classroom teacher. He made decisions based on what was best for the students and the faculty, and was well respected by all. Jesse has always shown a love for CMA and for his students. He has supported the CMA Alumni Association with his attendance at reunions and his willingness to always have time and a kind word for students. Jesse survived 1 year, 2 semesters with students like Melvin Shark Roberts, Paul Brooklyn Richards, in the same class. Can anyone top this? Jess served as headmaster when the school opened and was one of our staunchest supporters when the alumni was formed. Only when his health began to fail, he had to quit attending our reunions. Those of us that studied under Jess and knew him as a friend at the reunion surely miss his presence. Excuse me. Captain Jesse Mercer was a dedicated member of the faculty of Carolina Military Academy. He truly cared for his students. His students grasped the curriculum that he taught. The academy success of his students, as well as preparing them for the future, was the utmost concern to him. Captain Mercer continues to hold the respect and appreciation of the Carolina Military Academy alumni for the years that he spent educating us and improving our lives. And actually, those are the only comments that were made on the website when the nominations were made. This is a very important award, I believe, and it will continue as long as we continue these reunions. I also did a little proclamation here. Whereas Carolina Military Academy was founded 50 years ago in Maxton, North Carolina by Colonel Leslie C. Blankenship, and whereas the Carolina Military Academy Alumni Association established the Colonel Leslie C. Blankenship Memorial Award for Excellence in 2011, and whereas the Carolina Military Academy Alumni Association established this award to be given annually to the cadet or faculty member who in the eyes of the membership have contributed in excellence to the history, memory, and longevity of Carolina Military Academy Alumni Association and its members. And whereas the members of the association did nominate and the Carolina Military Academy Board of Directors did vote, and whereas on the school's 51st anniversary of the Carolina Military Academy alumni proudly announce, the CMA alumni proudly honor Captain Jesse B. Mercer with his unselfish devotion to his students in the Carolina Military Academy Alumni Association. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Carolina Military Association presents the 2013 Colonel Leslie C. Blankenship Memorial Award for Excellence to Captain Jesse B. Mercer and applaud him for a job well done.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear.
I tried to get Fred to come and accept this award for Jesse. I'm gonna actually give it to him tomorrow at breakfast, and he's gonna take it up to Jesse, and we're gonna put the video up on the website so Jesse can see, since he was not able to be here. But if you don't mind, I'd love to give it to you and let you take care of it till in the morning for him. And I also have a framed copy of the declaration that I just read, and we're gonna send this to Jesse. And I believe Jesse said he's going to keep this, and he's going to have Fred take the award back to Maxton and put it in the museum. You want to come up and accept the award? Yeah? Yeah. Let's get our official photographer. I appreciate it. Fred is, yes. Somebody there's going. If not, I'll be around there. Just wanted to update you on Patsy's condition. According to the doctor, she has either gastrointestine, something in the esophagus, I couldn't pronounce it, or they think she may have heart problems. Patsy ran in the walked and ran in the Viva's marathon last weekend, and she was having trouble breathing and chest pain. So when they said chest pains, they scooped her off into the emergency room and got somebody to look at her right away. But they're going to keep her overnight and do some stress tests, and I appreciate everybody's concern. If you want to go see the Kentucky Derby, I think you might get the second rerun. Otherwise, that's it.